Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another Clash Royale video. Thank you so much for clicking, and today we're going to talk about the lightning spell because it has some good changes after the April update, and that's the reason why I'm actually putting this out, so that you can actually use it to yourself as an advantage, because it's really cool now, the fact that the balancing changes have come out, and it's definitely good to have this new, bumped up lightning spell. So let's get right into the video, but before that, make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you click on the bell notification icon because you don't want to miss any of my updates regarding the videos. So let's get the basic stuff out of the way. So what is the lightning spell? If you don't know, lightning spell is going to cost you 6 elixir. It is an epic spell and has a radius of around 3.5 tiles. Apart from that, it also does turn out the opponent. So if the opponent is putting in up a Sparky, and if you actually are going to put in the lightning spell on the Sparky, it's actually going to do some damage to the Sparky as well as turn it. So that is something you actually will be getting from the lightning spell, which is kind of a two-in-one kind of spell, but then it's just 6 elixir. Not just, it is 6 elixir, which is pretty high. Then it actually does the damage. But then if you're actually talking about the stats, it's actually going to do 864 damage. That is at tournament standards, and in a total for 3 troops, which is actually going to attack, it's going to be 2,592. So if you didn't know, the lightning spell, if you drop it, it actually will do damage to the troops which have the highest hit points among a bunch of troops. So say if you actually put in the skeleton army, the witch, and the wizard, then the lightning spell will select the witch, the wizard, and one among the skeletons which have the highest amount of hit points, because it'll select only the troop that has the highest amount of hit points. So that is something you actually have to keep in mind. So if you ask me when you actually have to use the lightning spell works really great for glass cannon. So what is a glass cannon? The troops which have less hit points but do a lot of damage. So a classic example would be the musketeer, the wizard, the lumberjack, all these kind of troops which have less amount of hit points compared to others, but then they are going to do a lot of damage to that tower. Also Valkyrie sometimes would be considered, also the witch as well, which actually have a lot of damage per second, very less in terms of hit points. I mean the total health they have. So first off, when you actually have to use the lightning spell is when you're actually coming across troops like maybe the musketeer, the witch, the cannons, especially the inferno tower, the prince, the Sparky, because these are the cards that actually will be zapped along with actually doing some damage as well. So that is something you're actually going to get with the lightning spell. So you're not only zapping the troop, which is really important when it comes to Sparky or maybe the prince when it's charged, and you're not only just zapping them, you're actually doing some damage as well, which is really going to help you a lot when it comes to the end. So that is something you actually have to keep in mind. Also, it does around 200 or so hit points for being just level 2. It actually goes up to around 400 if it is actually in tournament level. So it's really cool, the fact that it does a lot of damage in terms of tournament standard, if I'm actually speaking about it. So it actually comes to the best amongst the poison spell and the lightning spell, because a lot of people actually have the poison spell instead of the lightning, because they actually believe that it's going to be much better in some scenarios. So when you actually have to use lightning is when you have glass cannon involved in the opponent's deck. So say for suppose if the opponent is coming up with maybe the musketeer, the wizard, the witch, and all these kind of cards, then the lightning will definitely be the card for you. But then if the opponent is coming up with the same strategy again, the poison would probably do just a bit of amount of damage, but then would probably not kill all of them. So again, just a little bit in terms of health would be remaining with the the musketeer, witch, and the wizard, if you're taking that example, because it is of course going to cost you less for elixir, but then it's just going to be around 3 to 4 shots away from the princess tower, whatever tower it is. So when it actually comes to selecting the lightning or the the poison, you're actually getting the benefit of the zap as well. So it's going to come in really handy when you're actually coming across troops like Sparky or something like that. The poison would probably not do any damage at all because it probably would be moving, but then if you're actually doing lightning, it actually zaps it, plus it actually removes a lot of hit points. It probably will be down by itself. You have a decent level 1, decent level decent level lightning spell. So yeah, it's really depending on the situation, but then I'd say just for 2 more elixir you're getting a better card compared to the poison, because actually a lot of people are using the poison, but then lightning will come in handy when you actually have to take that troop down completely, because if the opponent actually gonna put in a golem after he actually puts those 3 down, just in case he actually puts it, then it's gonna be a big headache, because you probably have to deal with the golem in order to take those other guys down. So that is when the lightning spell is gonna come up. So if you have put in the lightning spell on maybe the witch, the wizard, and the musketeer, then all of them will be down. And although the opponent does drop in the golem, it's not actually gonna work out that great, because the golem all by himself would probably not do a lot. So when it actually comes to some points to note, lightning spell has some pretty good range. So if you're considering about the range, it is the spell which has the second most highest range, so definitely will come in handy if you're actually concerned about the range, if you're actually kind of pointy towards dropping in the spells maybe here or there. That is the case with maybe the rocket. So now if you're actually concerned about the radius, the lightning spell has a pretty large radius, so you shouldn't be probably worried about that, because it's really good when it actually comes to radius. And again, another tip which I actually would say is that it's really good for glass cannon. Glass cannon meaning troops which have less hit points but then more damage when it actually comes to the offense that they're actually going to provide. So these are the cards that you actually have to concentrate, and those are the cards where they're going to die with the lightning spell. Apart from that, the lightning spell, if you're going to drop it somewhere in the middle, it's not going to do any damage at all. So if you're dropping it on no target, it probably will not do any damage at all. So that is something you actually have to keep in mind. So don't just drop in the lightning somewhere in the middle just hoping that it actually will drop in a ray of lightning to that tower. That is not going to happen. So you actually have to put that on that building in order to do some damage. So yeah, that's pretty much it hopefully. Thank you so much for watching till the very end. I'm Ayrus, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye.